Okay, so I'm gonna try and do this one in selfie mode. Today, finished taking up all of the floor. There is no more floor in here. You can see, this is the corner, and then we'll scan back. There's the rest of the room. So yeah, no more floor. Got to balance on joists now. We've got some stuff to stand on. We've got this enormous beam, this 8x13 beam. Nice natural place to stand. And we've got some, a bunch of other random pieces. So I think the idea is we'll get some plywood in here, so we have some nice comfortable places to stand while we're working. Because the next thing we're going to do before we sister the joists, we're going to repoint all of this beautiful brick. Not so beautiful. The masons didn't have to be super careful, and so in some places they weren't, which is totally reasonable. But yeah, you can see, there are lots of places where there are gaps, where there's mortar that's fallen out. So, so we're just gonna knock out anything that is as loose, and then pack in some new stuff. Got all that equipment ready to go. Got a nice big bucket. Got a 30 kilogram bag of natural hydraulic lime. I think it's called LHM hydraulic lime 350, which I guess is a indication of the mix, because it's like they mix lime with some kind of sand, I believe. But that is the mortar of choice for old historic homes. That's what the masons would have used at the time. And so apparently with older homes, back in the day, the brick was softer than the brick we use today, because today we typically use a concrete mixed cement, or a concrete mixed mortar, and you need your bricks to be stiffer than your mortar. And so once they had the cement mortar available, they can make stronger bricks, or maybe it was vice versa. But anyway, old bricks are soft, and they're stiffer than hydraulic lime mortar, but they are much weaker than cement mortar. And so what happens if you repair old brick with cement mortar, eventually through freeze-thaw cycles, the brick will try to expand in this very rigid container that you've created out of the cement mortar, and the bricks will break and crack and degrade, and that's no good. So you use the hydraulic lime, and it solves the problem. And the cool thing about hydraulic lime, I learned, is that this is more on the exterior, but if on the exterior there is a hole that allows water to get in, because the brick mortar system is like kind of a water barrier. If a hole develops, because it's lime based, the water will dissolve the lime and can seep into the hole and deposit the lime and repair itself. It's self-repairing, which is pretty wild. So won't have that issue in here because we're indoors. There should not be any water hitting these bricks once they're covered with drywall and insulation. But yeah, so that's, I'm gonna give you a nice close look at some of the debris down here. It's pretty gross. There's like some kind of nest material that fell down from the roof, from the rafter cavities. Anyways, lots of stuff. And yeah, here, this floor, like between the joists, is that's the plaster and lath of the ceiling below. Pretty wild. Oh, one more thing to show. I don't know if I've covered it already. Might not be able to get this cover off, but you have these covers in the floor. So this is like just brick and mortar. And so this was, I've covered it up. Shoot, I can't get at it. But this is like a brick block that they built into the floor cavity that would have carried up the exhaust from a wood stove or some other kind of stove in the basement to heat the home back before you would have had like today's HVAC and central heating. It's kind of cool. But now it's a blind hole, and you can press on the membrane at the bottom of the hole, and you can, if you're sitting in the den, you can see it. So we're gonna have to fix that somehow too. So Lisa, say hi.
Hi.
That's pretty much it.
Wow.
Yeah. Looks pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Goodbye.